a 9-year-old, like, I just, to have the pain and the enough, like, things going on that are that crucial in your life, to feel that way, I was just blown away by how many people in that category that we had. And so I'm very aware of that. And we do talk about that in my house quite often. And I simply bring it up at whatever age that they're at in the way that they can understand. And more recently, I talked with my 9-year-old about it. And I just kind of was like letting her know, because she's like, well, what is suicide? Because I have waited until she got, old enough to, not take that innocence away. But we just recently had that conversation, and I was like, there's sometimes people are just hurting so bad that they feel like they want to hurt themselves, or they feel like they want to not be here anymore. And she understood that, and it was not a shocking thing for her. It was not something that she was super, rocked by. It was just one of those things, that a normal conversation. And she's like, yeah, I understand, like, hurt. I understand pain. I understand feelings. We talk about feelings a lot in my household. And the thing that I think is most important for children and talking with them, or anyone for that matter in this area, is just to empathize with them and be supportive in whatever they are feeling. So if they are feeling upset or sad or XYZ, then just understanding that and saying, like, we all have different things going on, and we can't understand exactly where they're at, given their situation is different than mine. But what I can do is I can empathize with the basic feelings that they are having. Everybody knows sadness. Everybody knows anger. Everybody knows all of these basic feelings. And so we can empathize with those and get down to a basic level of, you're feeling this way. I felt that way before. I kind of understand. I can't fully understand your situation, but help me understand it more by explaining it. Let me know why you're feeling that way. And just being very supportive with our response.
That's perfect. No, I completely agree. It's difficult, but you have to have it. And it is all about how we respond to it. And I think, especially nowadays, it's, to even have conversations with the kids about anything is so difficult, because they're so surrounded by their friends and the social media and all of that. So it is important. And I've tried to do that. I learned so much from my own kids that it blows my mind. And so I have to learn that I can't talk to them the way my mom talked to me. Right. Totally different level. You can't threaten them because it doesn't work. And yes. Yelling doesn't always work. So you kind of just have to be calm and take a deep breath and go, okay, this is it. This is real. And so, oh my gosh, I can't. Yeah, it's so difficult. So I want to talk about now how you decided to run the 100 miles. Was that just a number, or was that you were just like 100, or is that something that is already in place for people to train for?
So that is the fundraiser that they have already set up for everyone. And so they picked the number, and I was like, whew, that's a lot, but I'll take it. I had actually planned on doing something myself. And so I contacted the charity, and I wanted to see what they were all about. I was looking for a charity to really get involved with that was exactly what I needed and what I was looking for in their approach. There's quite a bit of charities out there, and so I looked into different ones, but this one really stood out to me because they are very similar in their approach and the way that they view things with suicide, and they come alongside every member, military member or veteran or their family, and they will support them as long as they need support for. So that is amazing to me because that's exactly what we need, is You don't need a person to just say, okay, I'm going to help you out for the next 20 minutes. You need somebody that's going to be there for you long term, and it's a good relationship that you feel supported in, and do you have that trust built there? And so it's always someone they can go back to when they are struggling again, because it will come right back up. And so that's a great coping mechanism for them, to be able to have that support and know that there's that person there. And just a lot of different things about the charity that I just really, really loved, how they approach things. They are standing out on their own in the fact that there's a statistic that says we are, as veterans and military members, we have a 50% higher risk than civilians do for suicide. And so they are trying directly to combat that statistic. So all of their efforts are going to minimizing all the risk for each member that they support. And one person at a time, they're trying to bring that down for military members. And so I just love everything about the charity. And that's kind of how I got involved. I called them and they were like, oh, we already have like a thing set up for a fundraiser. And so I was like, well, sign me up. I'm doing it right now. So.
And so physically, how does one train for something like that?
Well, so I actually have been, since COVID started, I kind of challenged myself to be working out every day that I could during the week. I take off on weekends. And so I was doing that for quite a while, very consistently. So I'm kind of used to like working out every day and being ready for that. I kind of got off the bandwagon of that a little bit, so I'm kind of glad that I'm getting back into it with the 100 miles. But I'm not the greatest runner in the world, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to do my very best to hit that 100 miles, and I'm excited to do it, to challenge myself. I love to challenge myself.
No, that's amazing. And so, how many hours do you have, or days?
So it's all the way through September. So I'm going to be doing it every day in September. I'm going to try to have days off, because running every single day, that's quite a bit. So I'm going to try to put more miles in each day and have at least a day off each week. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. So the whole month of September, starting tomorrow, and is there a amount that you're trying to hit, the goal, or is it their set amount? How does that work?
So I set the amount at $350, because I'd like to give them a couple $100, to hopefully help out a few different veterans. That's my goal. So we'll see where it goes. I'm excited though.
That's amazing. Okay. So for everybody's listening, I have decided we're going to publish her episode as soon as possible. So if you can, please go to her link that I will be posting. She has a Facebook link to donate towards her cause. And just, I think anytime we could say a little prayer or have a little motivational quote for her, I think that could help. So any support that she can get, because I don't know if I could do 100 miles. I don't know. But that was, I retired 4 years ago. So maybe back then, but right now, probably not. So I'm so excited for you. And I really, really want to thank you for doing what you do, because I know for myself as a suicide attempt survivor, it's very difficult to be in that place and to find people who can understand us and even talk us through what we're feeling. It's very difficult to find those people. And so to have you in our corner is such a blessing. And before I forget, so your Christian life coaching, how do you do that? How can people contact you to talk to you more about it?
So I have a website, and it is stillwaterscoaching.life. And so you can go there. I have my story is on there. I have all my links to social media. and any information that you need about life coaching will all be on there. I love what I do. It's just very direct. If you don't know anything about life coaching, it's different than therapy. Therapy is looking at your past and healing wounds from your past, and they may be really deep wounds. I don't do any of the deep healing. I focus more on the present and today, which is something that I absolutely love because we can set goals and we can get you where you want to be in life. If you just picture your ideal life and you just can't quite get there for whatever reason, you have barriers, obstacles, things in your way that just keep getting in the way. That's kind of my job, is to help you find those things, move them out of the way so we can get you exactly where you want to be in life and set you goals so you can get everything you want out of life. Basically.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for that too. So of course, I'm going to add all this to the show notes and to the podcast guide. So don't forget to go check that out, because that's where everything is going to be. And again, thank you so much, Gwyn, for reaching out, for doing what you're doing, for being on here. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to get the word out there anytime about suicide. So
I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Thank you for listening to the Truths We Hide podcast, created and founded by your host, Annette, the founder of A Wild Ride Call Life. Also, a big thank you to all of our sponsors for each and every episode that is aired. We have so much support from them and all of our listeners. You can find more information at www.awildridecalllife.com.